because it's winter and it's cold and we have to wear coats, we might as well make the lapels of our coats adorable. So today I am making these little book plate brooches, and they have little tiny books and typewriter keys and miniature library cards. Aren't they cute? Aren't they cute? Wouldn't they look great on the lapel of your coat or on the side of a bag or a scarf? So if you want to learn how to make these little book plate brooches, you have found yourself in the right place. Let's get started. And if I fiddle around too much, I can squirrel and rabbit hole myself into midnight. Just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was, stop, Nick, stop. Hey guys, it's Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back, welcome back. I thought maybe we could put together one and then I will show you the rest that I put together. Some different options. So what I'm going to use is one of the antique bronze book plates at the moment. And you can get these all kinds of places, even on Amazon. But I got these at Hobby Lobby this week. They're on sale. You get 3 for, I think it's $1.99. What I did is I punched 3 holes in the bottom, in the center, and then one on either side. And what I used was just one of these awls or ice picks and a little ball peen hammer. Ding, 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 you know. So that's what I did. If it scares you, don't do it. But that's what I did. If you know somebody that has a drill and a little metal bit, you could have somebody drill those for you if you wanted. Okay. So what I am going to do is, as you can see, all the little miniature books, I went ahead and cut those out. And what I like to do for the little miniature books is I get a piece of this foam sheet, and I think I got this at Joann's. It's 3 millimeters thick. I think they're like, I don't know, 59, 79 cents. Depends on if you get them on sale or not. They're really, really, really cheap. So I was going to take a piece of this, and like I said, it's the 3 millimeter thick stuff. And I was going to grab one of the little books, and I cut them out. And then what I did was I kind of folded them around so that they were book shaped, just to add a little bit extra structure to it, because it's going to fit around the edge of this foam. So what I'm going to do is grab my art glitter glue, and I'm going to put some glue on the inside of this little front cover, and then I'm going to tuck the foam right inside and shut the cover, shut the front door over the top of that foam. And this is where I'm going to think about, okay, now what am I going to hang it with? Well, I don't have any little tiny bails. And if you don't know what a jewelry bail is, it's one of these guys that you can glue onto the back of a pendant, and then you can hang it from a chain. And I don't have any tiny ones. I only have those big ones. But what I do have are these, and these are these tiny little mini paper clips. Do you remember Tim Holtz had the little paper clips? Does he make these anymore? Does Ranger make these anymore? I don't know. Usually it's one of those things that I didn't think I needed them until I bought them, and I loved them. And that's usually the kiss of death for me. As soon as I love something and use it on a regular basis, the manufacturer stops making them. I know you can relate. So what I'm going to do, I can do one of two things. I can either take one of these little tiny paper clips and glue it to the inside of the foam, and then close the book around it and glue that little paper clip to the inside. See that? Or I could just glue it onto the back of it. Either way. When you're wearing these as a brooch, you're only going to see them on one side, and it's a paper clip. So paper clips are bookish anyway, or at least office-ish. So I'm going to put this one on the back. And you can absolutely cut the foam beforehand if you want. I just usually cut it now. and so that it fits around the cover fairly well, right? And I take some Distress ink, and this happens to be oxide, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to brush it on the edges and on the pages just to give the edge, so in case there's a little bit of white showing, in case I didn't cut it out exactly perfect, which I rarely do. You guys know me and fussy cutting. And then I can glue this little thing onto the back, and you can do whatever you would like as far as glue is concerned. I think I'm going to go the cheater way real quick and just add a little drop of hot glue right here. Try not to burn myself. I just want something to hold it right there because it's not going to matter, because I'm going to give it a coat of Mod Podge, and so it will encase this, and because these are very lightweight, it's not like they're going to go anywhere. So I'm going to give that a second to finish setting up, and I'm going to take, I'm trying to figure out what I want. So I made these little typewriter keys so that you could take a 5/8 circle punch and pretty much just pop these suckers out like that. And you can do a couple of different things. If you have these little flat back little pendant bezels, you can definitely cut this down and fit it in here, or whatever size your bezel is. They make these all kinds of sizes. It's like there's no rhyme or reason, so sorry. But if you have another hole punch, I think this one's a 1/2 inch and this one's actually closer, it would cut off some of the edge of the typewriter key, but it wouldn't matter because you're putting it in here anyway. But I also made them so that you could just glue them together like we did the book. I don't have any of my black Distress ink here, so I'm just going to use this just to cover up the white edges. But the black ink would look better for sure. And now you can do the same thing. You can grab one of the little paper clips and choose whatever side you want to show out on the outside. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the back. And then just pop that on there. Crooked. Got to do it crooked, because if it's not crooked, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and heat that glue back up. Smooth it out a little bit. And if you don't get little glue spider webs all over the place, you're not doing it right. So now that the book is probably, where'd I put it? Okay. Let me put the lid back on this, the pin. Thank you, Jackie. So beautiful. See what Jackie made me? Woo! Yay! Okay. Okay. Whoa. So now I'm going to take just some Mod Podge and a brush and just give this a quick little coat to seal it in, so that in case whoever is wearing the brooch accidentally spills coffee down their front, that the book won't immediately just disintegrate. And coat the front. So cute, right? This is a little McGuffey. I can hear some of you. Yeah, great, Nick. You just coated both sides. Where are you going to lay that? Where are you going to put that? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I need like a little nail. I can hang it on somewhere. Do I have one? No. Put it on the tip of this art glitter. Well, yes. Woo. And now this one is dry. So I'll give this a coating. And no, I have no idea where I'm going to place this one. Just hold it for 15 minutes until it's dry. I guess that's what I'll do. And that's ugly on the back. Do a better job than I did. And coat the front. And then this way, if you don't have any charms that you want to use, or maybe the charms you have don't have anything to do with the kind of little booky brooch you're making, you'll have a couple of options to make your own for nearly nothing. You could also glue one of these little jump rings on the back. Of course, this one is dinky tiny. So maybe not that one in particular. And so when that gets dry, then it will get hung on the brooch too. Okay. Trying dry. I'm going to rest it up against this little tin over here. And now I have this one that I've already made up, and this is one of the little tiny library cards. And what I used to glue this one down was art glitter glue, and I did that just a little bit ago, and I let it sit, and it took a little bit for it to dry because I kind of pooled it up a little bit. There are better ways to do this, thinking. Now that has to dry. Somehow. This one dry enough to sit up. I'm going to set this up against the tin. There we go. While I finish up the brooch workings. Okay. So now that I've got that, here's my brooch. Here is one of the little labels that I'm going to use, the librarian in training. And so what I'm going to do for this is, again, I'm just going to take the Mod Podge and I'm going to put some on this. This is just a piece of really thin chipboard or heavy cardstock. You know, it's one of those things that if your cardstock gets too heavy, it becomes thin chipboard, right? So I'm going to lay that down right there, and then I'm going to lay the label down over the top. Fit it in here. There we go. So now it's attached to this little piece of this chipboard. I'm just going to add a little bit of the ink around it just to dirty it up a little bit more. Now I will coat the top to protect from the theoretical, hypothetical coffee spillage situation. All right. Now that's not going anywhere. And the next thing I want to do is I cut out a piece of felt, and this is just the cheap craft felt that you can get for, again, nearly nothing. I think it's about the same price as the foam sheet. And I'm going to take one of, here it is, the little pin back. And again, I'm going to hot glue because that's what I do now. Instant gratification day. And this does hold it pretty well. Especially on something as porous as felt. When you punch the holes in the, if you use these and you punch the holes, it's going to leave some rough edges like it does when you open up a can, you know, a can of vegetables or something. So just an FYI, that's why we're gonna cover this up. That's gonna help keep that all contained. I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit. I'm just gonna trim off enough to make sure that the whole library in training label sits in there right. There we go. Just like that. So I'm going to glue this onto the back. And you can use whatever you would like. I'm just going to use a touch of hot glue for the second, just to get that tacked down. I would use super glue, but I'm out. Super glue is an excellent thing for this purpose, gluing in that label. I'm just going to poke the holes because I'm going to put the brads in. So there's a gold one, or bronzy one. There's another one. So now I can glue this on to the back, and I cut this the same size as the book plate itself. I don't think I would give this to a kid, like a little kid. I mean, maybe. I'll leave that up to your discretion. So there is this base, and see how it's all covered up down here. And then this also protects the clothing as well as fingertips. So there is that. And now, where are my little, I need jump rings. So here's my little jump rings. And because this is just felt on the back, the jump rings will go right through the felt. We have a library card and a book, and we have a little typewriter key. I'm going to do this because I haven't done the little typewriter key yet. I always ham-fist it and close those too tight. And then they go, ring! The little jump rings. You guys know what I'm talking about? You pry them apart and you have to put them back together, and then you use the pliers and you manhandle it, and it just kind of crushes the jump ring, and that's not what you were intending. I do that all the time. It could be easy, easy. Problems. Problems. See? I just did it. Oh, and I tried not to. I tried not to, but see what I did? See what I did? It's maddening. And those of you out there that make jewelry are going, yeah, because you're supposed to do it this way. I don't know what way that is, so here I go, ham-fisting and manhandling everything. Okay, that's better. Oh, so cute, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So let me clean all this up, and I'll show you all 4 of them that I put together. So here are the 4 that I made. Of course, this one we just made here together. And then this was one that I made yesterday. And I put some little keys on that one. And the book. And then this one I used the Tim Holtz book plates and tags die, and so that's what that is. And the reason why it looks shimmery and shiny and wonderful is because I used metallic gilding flakes. I'll have to show those to you sometime. I've got, they're beautiful. And so I coated that, but you could paint them or something. And what I ended up doing was I did 2 layers out of this thin chipboard so that it would be sturdy. And then I used the little library card and then one of the little books. So that one's there. And then this one, I used one of the Tim Holtz ornate book plates. And again, I don't know if he makes these. I have no idea if he still makes these. I didn't see them last time I was at the store, but they could have been out. I just hung it from either side, the little chain, with the journal at the bottom. And then I put the shift lock there in the middle. So it makes a lovely little dangly brooch. I think it's lovely. So go get your printable and print out some of those little images to make some of the little teeny tiny books and library cards and typewriter keys, and get yourself some book plates or cut out some chipboard. You don't even have to use the die set. You can just find a template online of cut out the shape and double them together. you can do it. I know you can do it. If you have some brads for the corners, for the little holes on either side, those are great. If you have some chain and some jump rings, oh, think of the fun things you can do. And then I recommend getting the 1.5 inch pin backs and get some cheap felt and some cheap foam. And you got yourself a whole afternoon filled with making teeny tiny little things for brooches. So I hope you enjoyed this little project. I hope you make some brooches and give them to your friends and family that love books and reading. All right, guys, I will be back really soon. I promise. I'm going to show the Forest Lore books. If I didn't have 10,000 things to do this weekend, I would have done it today. It's not going to happen, but I will be back real soon, and we'll get those knocked out, and the marble paper too. All right, guys, thank you so very much, and I will catch you really soon in the next video. Bye, guys. I don't know if art glitter glue is really the best thing to hold metal to foam and paper. I'm sure the folks at Art Glitter Glue were like, no, that wasn't a test we did. We have no idea if it will hold metal to foam to paper. Don't do it. Well, I'm doing it.